Washington Grown is made possible by funding from the Washington State Department of Agriculture and the USDA Specialty Crop Block Grant Program. And by the Potato Farmers of Washington. Learn why Washington is home to the world's most productive potato fields and farmers by visiting potatoes.com.
On this special season of Washington Grown, we're following Washington produce around the world.
Here we go.
I mean, there's just stuff happening everywhere.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah. I'm doing all the work over here.
That's a Tomas Deluxe. All good things are better shared, right?
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
I can't even walk.
We got a lot to explore and a lot to do, so let's get to it.
To Washington.
To Washington.
Hi everyone, I'm Christy Gordson and welcome to Washington Grown from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. Now, shopping for produce is a little bit different here in Vietnam than it is in Washington, but the goal is still the same, trying to find the best produce in the world. In today's episode, we're going to see how Washington products are sold around the world. Tomas is visiting an influencer who teaches people about apples.
You want people to feel like they're alongside with you, so you're kind of just carrying them through.
And I'm making a special Filipino soup at Musong in Seattle.
This is a hard soup to eat with a spoon, though. You kind of need a fork
bit of
and
fork
a spoon.
Plus, the team and I are visiting a Vietnamese wet market.
We've been in a lot of places all over the state of Washington, but this is not Kansas anymore.
No, not in Washington anymore. All this and more today on Washington Grown. Walking into this craftsman home here on Beacon Hill, you might feel like you're meeting up at a good friend's house for dinner. From the warm smells to the familiar decor, everything here at Musong will make guests feel like longtime family friends.
Everything here is just so amazing.
These flavors are kind of remind me of home, my mom's cooking.
There's a ton of flavor in it. It's a lot of spices. They were saying it's kind of like the whole Filipino pantry.
The food's just amazing.
Owner and chef Melissa Miranda wanted to bring her patrons the full experience of being a guest in a Filipino home. Whether it's the art, the service, or the food, Musong is a love letter to Melissa's childhood. Even the name of the restaurant has a story.
So Musong means wild cat.
Okay.
My dad had a black Mustang.
Cool.
And then the T fell off, and so he became Musong. And his friends just called him that.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time cooking with him. He really instilled with me like the Filipino food and culture and the importance of it.
I mean, this area has a lot of history, especially with the Filipino-American community. It's a really great opportunity to share our culture with the rest of the community.
The food actually reminds me of how my parents cook. In fact, my parents love the food at Musong, and that says a lot because my parents are very picky about their Filipino food.
Filipinos, when they first immigrated to Seattle, they've been here for a really long time, but Beacon Hill was a neighborhood that a lot of folks actually came and moved to. So I have a lot of memories coming here. I think that what it does for representation for our community is really what's the most important, and being able to hopefully be an example for like the next generation that there are people that look like me that can have success and do this too.
Stay tuned because later in the show, Chef Melissa and I are going to make a special Filipino soup called Pinakbet.
I won't be able to mimic my mom or my grandma, but what I can do is at least try and, trigger a memory of nostalgia for them.
Do they ever like, okay, listen, this is not the way I did it.
Way up north in Tonasket, apples and pears are almost ready for harvest. And here among the trees, you'll find one energetic person spreading the word to thousands of people.
Right, we are doing our first picking of Honeycrisp apples, and it's a little crazy. It's a bit sunny today, which is wonderful for picking, but terrible for filming.
Caitlin Thornton considers herself an agriculture influencer, teaching thousands of followers on TikTok numerous things about apples and orchards. Now, although she has 3 other siblings, it turns out that her passion and love for farming led her to be the only one to follow in her dad's footsteps.
I was the one who's like, I love agriculture. Now he has me, who is like, always like, Dad, can we hang out? Can you tell me this? And he's like, all right, relax.
Right now, Kate's a marketing major at Washington State University, but her involvement in both ag and business started early on in high school.
I wanted to make a little side money, so we had these apricot trees. He's like, if you sell 20 boxes, I'll be impressed. And I sold 44 that year.
Okay, so that was his reverse psychology motivation happening.
Yeah, he knows what works with me because I'm basically the female version of him.
Okay.
Sold over 400 boxes that first year, and then my senior year I sold 1,200 boxes of fruit.
What?
And I just keep it going.
When she isn't studying in Pullman, Kate's here working in the orchard. And today, she's using that business acumen to put somebody else to work. Me.
So we bring out all the bins and then we load them up on the truck here. And then we have to throw straps, so that's like this final part right here.
Hold this.
Okay.
Whichever hand you throw it. You just want to get it over the bin.
Right.
So aim above the bin.
And you don't let go of this, obviously. I want to hold on to that. Jeez. We'll see. We'll see what we can do here, right?
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Look at that, first shot.
There we go.
That was...
Go home, take a break.
All right, take a break. I got it. All right, now let's go tighten this down. Okay. Because, you know, this is what I do now. I'm going to leave Washington Grown and I'm going to start driving truck.
And when I was younger, I really didn't have a whole lot of muscle, so this was like, I really had to use my leverage.
When you were younger, right.
In my younger days.
Right. How tight does it need to be?
I flick it. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's the sound you want.
Nice job. F sharp. Okay.
F sharp.
Our last stop was way up in the hills, where a special variety of apple was nearly ready for harvest.
So this is like one of our top varieties that we grow. So it's a new apple called Sugar Bee.
Sugar Bee. Look how beautifully shiny that is.
Yeah, so that's what we call fruit finish. So one thing I've made videos about this is how we check fruit finish. Is my dad's always told me to take your lip and just kind of rub it along.
Okay, and what am I feeling for?
You feel how smooth that is?
Yeah.
I've done the same thing with my pickup after I wax it.
When you hear it.
I know.
Come on.
Speaks for itself.
How do I make a TikTok video? What do we do? Let's make one right now.
All right, you want people to feel like they're alongside with you, so you're kind of just carrying them through. Hey y'all, so I'm with my friend Tomas. He is from Washington Grown TV. He is all the way up here in Tonasket, Washington. I'm showing him one of our new apple varieties. This is called a Sugar Bee. Let's show him a little crunch action.
Listen to this.
You just got a free promo.
Yeah, you see that?
I'll bill you.
There you go. Oh shoot, you see that? Millions of people are gonna be watching that and she's gonna send us a bill. We've been in a lot of places all over the state of Washington, but this is not Kansas anymore.
No, we are not in Kansas. We're not in Washington anymore, that's for sure. We are in Ho Chi Minh City at the market. This is how people grocery shop in Vietnam. Although Vietnam does have a rising number of the grocery stores that Americans are used to, the traditional way of shopping is here at the wet market. Anything you're looking for, from fruit to meat to fresh fish, can be found right here on the street. Fresh everything. Because Vietnamese, they like to buy fresh and eat fresh. And part of that is Washington apples. And look at this.
Here we are, so far from home across the globe, but look, there's Washington State represented right there. So home is always with us, no matter where we go here. It's so cool to see that there's a different way of like grocery shopping. You know, we go to a supermarket, but it's just here on the street.
Yeah.
Anything kind of produce you want, and it all looks so fresh and beautiful.
So fresh, so colorful. Many, many items that I've never seen before, and I don't know what they are. But one of Vietnam's favorites is the Washington apple. So Tomas and I split up to find out what the people of the market think of Washington's famous fruit. What we found was that everyone in the market loved Washington apples because of how sweet, crispy, and colorful they are.
She eat every day. Every day, one apple.
One apple.
One Washington apple.
Oh, that's great. That's why you're so healthy and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Buyers also said that apples and pears are perfect for Vietnamese New Year, to be given as gifts or to decorate for the holiday. As I walked around, I stumbled into one of the busiest spots in the market where the meat was being sold. As our team got ready to set up a shot, everything around me started changing. Something's happening. What's happening? They had their meat set up here because they have like a whole pig. The head, the snout, every part of the pig that they were chopping and presenting, and then all of a sudden they just moved really fast, got out of the way, and not sure what happened. But really interesting. This is like the meat part of the market, so the butcher shop basically of the grocery store. And so you see just all kinds of cuts of meat, a lot of chicken, a lot of pig, and it's so busy. Their favorite mode of transportation is the moped, and so there's millions of them in Ho Chi Minh City, and you really have to watch out, basically. But they're very good. They're very good at not running you over.
At the end of the day, Tomas and I met up to share our thoughts over a fresh Washington apple.
That is not the grocery experience that we're used to back home, but pretty cool nonetheless. So where are we going next?
I don't know, but I know it's going to be exciting.
All right, well, let's go. We got a lot to explore and a lot to do, so let's get to it.
You might notice that a lot of apples have these white spots all over them. They're called lenticels, and what do you think that they're for? We'll have the answer for you after the break.
Coming up, I'm making a special Filipino soup at Musong in Seattle.
This is a hard soup to eat with a spoon, though. You kind of need a
little
fork
bit of
and
fork and a spoon.
And we're in the kitchen at Second Harvest trying Chef Laurent's zucchini chutney.
These white spots on an apple, they're called lenticels, and they essentially help the apple breathe. So they let in and out oxygen and carbon dioxide.
We're back at Musong on Beacon Hill in Seattle. With such fresh and flavorful items on the menu, it's easy to fall in love with the Filipino culture of food that's so prevalent in the restaurant. When you're at Musong, you're part of something bigger than just food.
The place just feels very inviting and community-oriented.
It does feel like you're at a friend's house and they're just pulling the things out of their pantry.
Powerful flavors that kind of remind me of home.
We want the guests to experience like what it is to be in a Filipino home.
Okay.
Owner and chef Melissa Miranda knows that in order to make her food the way she remembers it, only the freshest ingredients make the cut.
A lot of the things that my parents had access to, we don't have access to here. Being able to take the flavor and the idea of what the Filipino food dish is, but then maybe adding a different veggie or whatever's in season. There are Filipino farmers that are working out of Eastern Washington, and so they really focus on planting and growing vegetables that Filipinos love.
Yeah. Everything I've had has been so good.
If you're not familiar with Filipino food, I think Musong's the perfect place to try it.
Just feels like home.
So what are you and I going to make today?
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
We're actually going to make a somewhat more traditional version of pinakbet. So we've got zucchini, okra, eggplant, a base in Filipino food called guisado.
Okay.
So garlic, onion, tomatoes.
I'm going to get my vegetables today.
You're going to get your vegetables
I love it.
today.
Okay, I'm excited.
It wouldn't be a Filipino dish if there wasn't garlic.
Okay.
So everything is based off of
Has
garlic.
to have garlic.
And then there's always onions and tomatoes. So this base is called guisado.
We started by cooking some garlic, then adding seasoning salts, onions, and tomatoes, and letting it cook down before adding a little water. Once that's cooked a bit, we add some pork belly and a special fermented shrimp paste.
It is called bagoong alamang.
Okay.
Alamang means shrimp.
Okay, yeah.
Growing up,
Smells just like you would expect it to.
Growing up, this was a smell that was very intense as a child.
Sure.
Whenever we'd have like a roast pig for like a family celebration, there'd be lots of leftover parts, and so then we'd throw that in this.
Oh, and it just makes it so much better.
Good. I won't be able to mimic my mom or my grandma, but what I can do is at least try and, trigger a memory of nostalgia for them. So whenever my parents or my grandparents come, it's always like,
yes,
I hope they like it.
Do they ever like, okay, listen, this is not the way I did it.
So actually this dish is on our menu currently, but it's completely different. My aunts from LA came by like a month ago and they were like, I've never seen pinakbet like this, but it tastes like pinakbet.
Finally, we add some okra, eggplant, zucchini, and a squash puree. Once it's cooked, we top it off with some pickled bitter melon.
This is a hard soup to eat with a spoon, though. You kind of need a
little
fork
bit of
and
fork
a spoon.
and a spoon. Right.
This is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, it looks like springtime.
All the colors.
It is. It's gorgeous. I'm not going to be very dainty when I eat this, I don't think. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all we can say is mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really good.
It is really good.
I think my grandma would be proud.
Loaded with vegetables, but you have that nice pork belly that gives it
a little
you
richness,
know, yeah.
and then the fermented shrimp for
Right.
a little bit of umami. And like all of it together just makes sense. And
Like each bite can be a little bit different.
right? And the veggies are still crunchy.
To get the recipe for Musong's peanut bet, visit wagrown.com. Coming up, Tomas is trying some special Lao food at Taurus Ox in Seattle.
The flavors go all the way. So it's either going to be really salty, really spicy, really sour, really bitter. You get the picture.
And there's Lao food.
That's Lao food, yeah.
Bold, umami, spicy, herbaceous, and aromatic flavors. That's an eye-catching description for a restaurant, if you ask me. So when I saw that on a website for Taurus Ox on Capitol Hill in Seattle, I wanted to put that claim to the test. Owner Campaign has created a menu based around his home country of Laos where the flavors, well, they're just like the website says.
This is like one of the only Laos-based restaurants around, right?
There's a few. The reason why there's not more, a lot of the Lao people, they disguise as a Thai restaurant.
Okay.
The people will ask, so you mean like Thai food? And that's the main reason why there's a lot of Thai restaurants owned by Lao people, because it's just re-education.
Because at some point they're like, yeah, fine, like Thai food.
Just like, yeah, I'm a Thai restaurant. It's all about like the herbs, the spices.
Okay.
We're unapologetically spicy.
Okay.
The
You're
flavors
going
go
for it.
all the way from
Okay.
like, we don't even mess around. It's like
Right.
a 10 for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's either going to be really salty, really spicy, really sour, really bitter. You get the picture.
And there's Lao food.
That's Lao food, yeah.
Today, we're trying the Laos chicken lob made with fresh Washington-grown herbs.
The herbs really highlight this. And in particular, the mint and the raw ram, and then sprinkled on top is our toasted rice powder.
Nice. And a lot of these herbs, they're right here from Washington, right?
Yes, they even grow like wild.
Yeah.
Especially the mint and the raw ram.
I have plenty of mint in my backyard, so
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They grow in the winter too.
I think I'm tired of looking at it. I think we need to eat this.
I just kind of one of these.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Here.
Cheers. I'm excited to try this. Oh, it's gonna get you. It creeps in the back of your throat. It's bright and it's airy and you're right. There's that saltiness and that spiciness, but it makes you want to go back for more.
What I hear often is, "Wow, you guys definitely didn't hold back,"
Right.
and that's kind of my goal. I didn't want to hide or change what Lao food is to please the masses. I hope you like it.
Yeah. just unapologetically, this
Yeah.
is who we are. This is awesome. This thing
Yeah.
tastes so good, and I could just keep eating this all day. I think I just might. When the cameras are off, I'm gonna keep eating
It's
it.
just the tip of the iceberg for Lao food.
Right, it's delicious. And if you're cooking everything in this restaurant with this much flavor and passion and love, Lao's the way to go.
This season, we had a wonderful opportunity to visit the Global Produce and Floral Trade Show in Orlando, Florida. As far as the eye can see, all kinds of fresh produce and products were being displayed. And right at the center of it all was a special Washington-grown booth. It was there that Washington Potato Director of Marketing, Brandy Tucker, was putting in some serious time to promote our amazing Washington-grown potatoes.
We love to come out to all of these shows. That's when we are here in Florida, and we just like to tell people about Washington potatoes. We have to educate people about all the potatoes that are grown in Washington State. We grow a lot of russets. We grow a lot of potatoes for French fry manufacturing.
Yeah.
And we have some of the best specialty potatoes like reds, yellows, purple potatoes. And at this show here, this is a huge international show.
Right.
So we like to come here and talk about potatoes that we could export to other countries.
Also at the booth was Ryan Perry, who manages the Washington State Department of Agriculture's International Marketing Program. At a show surrounded by products from all over the U.S., it's important to think a little bigger than just Washington State.
We figure about 30% of our agricultural products are exported. Buying local is very important, and we definitely support that at the Department of Agriculture. But we also realize and recognize that exports are also critical to Washington's economy.
What are you hearing from our customers across the ocean about our potatoes?
They love our product, not just potatoes, but just Washington agriculture as a whole. Like I said, we grow and best here in Washington, and so just to keep those relationships open and keep our potatoes going to feed the world.
Although the trade show is incredible, it takes more than just one weekend to promote Washington products. Across the Pacific in Vietnam, we ran into Washington Director of Agriculture Derek Sanderson, who was hard at work fighting for Washington trade.
We're basically in a role of advocating for changes in trade policy that would help move products both ways. Trade's a two-way street, so we want to make it easier for our products to move into Vietnam as well as Vietnamese products to move to the United States. I would say tariffs are the biggest issue right now.
As tariffs raise the price for foreign exports, people like Director Sanderson and Ryan work hard to make trade more agreeable for our Washington farmers.
Tariffs are something that make our products more expensive than our competitors in other countries. When our products are more expensive, it puts us at a big disadvantage.
We have so many good products to offer, and the right set of circumstances, we should be improving our exports.
We're feeding the world in the United States and from Washington State. Not every country has the food security that we have, and so we're providing a lot of the food that's going to these international customers. So it's very important.
And it's something that we're all proud of.
Yes.
We're in the kitchen at Second Harvest Food Bank in Spokane. We're ready to taste some great food. Got my co-tasters here with me today. Chef Laurent Serrati, thank you so much for joining us again.
My pleasure,
Yeah,
Christy.
we appreciate it. And co-host Tomas.
Here we are again.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we ready to taste some good food?
I think so.
Yeah, and I think it's lovely this year, this season, you developed some of our recipes
How
that we're going to be tasting.
I know, just for
Yeah.
our viewer, and we can get
Yeah.
those recipes only on our website, on wellgrown.com, and I hope you will enjoy them all.
Yeah, we love it. And, you know, we're still reminiscing about our trip, you know, to Vietnam and to Mexico and the markets and the food that we saw and that wet market. And it was so interesting in Vietnam. And, you know, it's called wet because it's fresh. and
Super
it's-
fresh.
Yeah. Super fresh.
Almost to the point that I think a lot of us here in the States would just be freaked out by the concept of it. And I think that was what was so wonderful about it, is going in to see what other countries do. It doesn't make it wrong or right, it's just a different way of doing things. And it was great to be able to have that opportunity to be exposed to that and go, wow, this was cool.
It was very cool. And to see all of the Washington grown products in the like the produce
right.
you know, sellers there. You know, that's like the old school way of grocery shopping. You know, you ride your bike or your moped to the wet market, and that's where you get your daily
bag
whatever.
And, store
Whereas
to store
some of the newer, more modern, you know, the younger generation in Vietnam tend to go to the grocery stores and that sort of thing. But it was great to see how the traditional, you know, still exists.
Next time, take me.
Yeah, I know, right?
You'd love it. You'd love it. I think you'd love it.
What's your recipe that you're sharing
Well,
today?
we're sharing something a little different that I like because there is multi-purpose in that recipes, but it's a spicy zucchini chutney.
Oh,
So you can use it as a condiment or use it as a side vegetable.
Well, we're
depending on-
always looking for ways
Well,
to
we'll see.
get rid of that zucchini.
Our team in the kitchen are doing great and
Yeah.
bringing beautiful dishes to us.
We love it.
And we cannot
Yeah,
wait
let's-
to taste that chutney.
Yeah, let's find out how you make it.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest eating this?
I would like wrap.
I'm just gonna wrap my meat and cheese in this.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll
And
use some
stuff that
cheese.
chutney in there.
Sweet.
It is.
That's the first thing I noticed was the sweetness.
Has some spiciness to it.
It's a good way to give it some texture and body to fill out that
Exactly.
chutney.
What's a normal,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
a typical chutney made out of?
Plenty pineapple,
Just-
mango
Mango,
chutney,
that's a lot
mango
of
chutney,
okay.
a lot of mango chutney.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
Cranberry chutney also.
Yeah.
You can make for
Okay.
holidays, for the Thanksgiving. You can make
Right.
a chutney out of cranberries.
What a unique way. I love it.
good, yeah.
And
It's a
it's
good way
got
to
great
use it.
flavor. Awesome.
Very nice lot.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So if you'd like to give it a try, go to WashingtonGrown or WaGrown.com, our website at Washington Grown, and we have all the recipes there. And follow us on social media too. Maybe give us a post if you happen to try it. We'd love to hear about it.
Right.
Don't
Yes.
be too harsh on me, please. Cheers.
They're gonna love it.
To get the recipe for Chef Laurent Zarati's zucchini chutney, visit us at wagrown.com.
It's been absolutely amazing seeing how people buy our fresh produce around the world. And you know what? A Washington apple tastes just as good here as it does back home. That's it for this episode of Washington Grown. We'll see you next time.